everybody, Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you another deck on Pokemon TCGO, and today I am bringing you a deck centered around Beedrill from Evolutions. And before I get into the deck, just a reminder that if you like this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, and maybe subscribe. It helps us out a lot and lets us do more for you guys. Now, as for the question of the day, this question really came about because I'm utilizing a relatively underused and honestly it's not very good in a lot of decks, but it's very good in this deck, and that is the Repeat Ball, which search your deck for a Pokemon with the same name as one of your Pokemon in play, reveal it and put it into your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. So Repeat Ball is very unique, and then we are using 3 different balls in this deck: Level Ball, Repeat Ball, and Ultra Ball. So my question really stems from that, and that is, what Pokeball would you like to see implemented into the TCG and why? And then also, what effect would the Pokeball have? Now, there are so many different Pokeballs in the TCG right now. I mean, to name a few, like I already said, the Level Ball, Ultra Ball, Repeat Ball, and then there's also Heavy Ball, among many, many others. What I would like to see implemented is a Dusk Ball, and that not only is because it's my favorite Pokeball and is honestly one of the best Pokeballs that you can use in the entire game, but that's beside the point, and also along with the fact that I only play my game really at night when I do play, so Dusk Balls are always effective for me. But I do think the Dusk Ball has some potential, particularly with this effect where it would be able to search a Pokemon out of your discard pile and put it into your hand. It wouldn't search it out of your deck, it would search it out of your discard pile. Now, you might be thinking, well, Sticks, that would just be really, really broken. In my opinion, I don't think it would, because there's really not a whole lot of recovery options. I mean, apart from Puzzle of Time, Super Rod, and Revitalizer, all 3 of which I'm running in this deck, along with Karen and Brock's Grit. There's probably a couple others that I'm forgetting, but really, there's not a huge amount of recovery, and there definitely isn't grab something from your discard pile. I mean, apart from Double Puzzle, but Double Puzzle is just its own thing. I do think that Dusk Ball, if it had the ability to search something out of your discard pile and put it into your hand, would be a great card. And it wouldn't be broken, just because you would not be able to use it early game if you did not have any Pokemon in your discard pile. It would not be able to search from the deck at all, only the discard pile. I think that would be a really cool type of thing to put into the TCG, and I think it could really... It could alter the metagame. It would definitely alter the metagame, but I don't think that it would be overly broken. I just think that it would shift the metagame in certain directions, and I think it'd be really cool and kind of an awesome thing to have in the TCG. But that is just my opinion. Please leave your comment in the comment section below as to what ball you would want to see and why, and also what effect you would want the ball to have. And this is a complete theory mining question, so I want you guys to tell me like all of your crazy theories for what you would want to see a ball be in the TCG and why. So just let me know. And anyway, on to the deck. Like I said, this is centered around Beedrill from Evolutions, 120 HP, so actually not too horrible. I mean, 120 HP is absolutely nothing to write home about, but it's not horrid. It really isn't. It's bulkier than Shaman, so that tells you something right there. And it has 2 attacks. The first one is Poison Sting. For 1, Grass Energy does 30, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. And not gonna lie, this isn't a bad attack by any stretch of the imagination. With Force to Giant Plants, you're able to go for Poison Sting, turn 1, get 30 damage on there, and your opponent's poisoned. I mean, it's nothing that you would center a deck around, but considering that we are already using this card, this isn't a bad option if you go second. So definitely don't just write off that attack. It is good to use, but you really only want to use it when you absolutely have to. The attack that we are focusing this deck around is Swarming Sting. This attack does 40 damage times the number of Beedrill you have in play to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So it has the potential to be a 160 damage sniping attack. Now, you might look at that and be like, oh my gosh, Beedrill is ridiculously overpowered, because with Force to Giant Plants and all the searching options that are available in the current TCG, you should be able to get out for Beedrill and hit for 160 with no problem for relatively cheap. And yes, theoretically you should be able to do that, but in practice, it is a lot harder to pull that off than you think, because first of all of your Weedles and your Beedrill have to be in your deck. None of them can be prized or you're screwed. And if you're not running rare candy, which I am, just in the case that a Kakuna is prized, then you have to have all of your Weedle, Kakuna, and Beedrill not be prized, which is highly unlikely in a lot of scenarios, so it already has that going against it. Second of all, you could not draw the cards you need exactly when you need it, and also you can't just run 4 of every type of ball. I mean, there are other cards that you need to run in this deck, so this deck is completely centered around getting Beedrill out. I know that there have been other versions of this deck in which people have run like Yan Mega, Ariados, stuff like that. I decided to nix all of those potential options and just go straight for, okay, let's get Beedrill out, let's get it attacking, and let's get it as consistently as possible. So that is why this deck is just streamlined 4/4/4 of Weedle through Beedrill and then Shaman for draw support. And like I said, Shaman is here. Running 3 copies, could run 4, but I got rid of one of them. I think to throw in another Revitalizer. I don't remember exactly what I got rid of. Well, what I added to get rid of one of the Shamans. But either way, 3 is just fine with me. You really only want to be playing 2 at a time, 3 at the absolute most, because then that's cutting into your Beedrill space. You want to have all 4 Weedle out whenever possible and all 4 Beedrill whenever possible, so having an extra Shaman really does cut into that space, which is why only 3 does work a lot of the time. And then 4/4/4, absolute max number, because you want to get your Beedrills out and attacking immediately. And then as for the items, 2 Level Ball, and this is all my opinion for the for the numbers of the different types of items. Running 2 Level Ball, you could definitely run 3, but I like to, just because, I mean, it gets you Weedle and Kakuna, but then you want Ultra Ball for, like, Beedrill and Shaman later. Level Ball does not get either of those, and those guys are equally as important as Weedle and Kakuna, hence why I'm only running 2. I'm running 4 Puzzle of Time. My initial version of this deck did not have Puzzle at all, but considering Beedrill can get knocked out so easily, and you're probably going to be discarding it with, like, Ultra Ball and Sycamore and stuff like that, to where you have some stuff in the discard pile that you would like to use again, I decided that I have to throw 4 copies of Puzzle of Time in here, just because getting those cards out of the discard pile is so incredibly important in this deck. So that's why I put those in there. If you run this deck, 100% run 4 Puzzle at a time. That has come in clutch so many times for me that I can't even tell you how important it is. 1 rare candy. This is because I'm paranoid about, the Weedle through Beedrill being prized. If Weedle or Beedrill is prized, there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. But if a Kakuna is prized, then rare candy is a potential out to that situation to get another Beedrill, as opposed to just having to rely on 3 Beedrill until I draw it. I'm running 2 copies of Repeat Ball. This is something that you guys might nix for another copy of Level Ball and Ultra Ball or something else. I actually really, really like Repeat Ball in this deck, just because Beedrill's our main attacker and we don't always want to be discarding cards with Ultra Ball to get it out. Yes, Repeat Ball only works if you have something in play that you already do, but if you have like a Shaman and a Beedrill down, well, Repeat Ball can get either one of those guys, and in a streamlined deck like this, Repeat Ball works very, very well, so I would highly suggest you running it, and you also don't have to discard cards with it. 2 copies of Revitalizer in case you have to, like, Ultra Ball away a Beedrill or Kakuna or Sycamore away those guys where they get knocked out before you're able to get a Forest of Giant Plants in play and play those guys all the way up. So running 2 copies of those to get them back. 1 Super Rod. You could forego it. I find Super Rod to be just another great method of getting not only Beedrill back, but energy as well, just in case you draw into them way too early and don't have a chance to play them down yet. 1 copy of Town Map. You need this in this deck, because if a Beedrill or a Weedle is prized and you're able to take a knockout, you want to get those guys back as soon. You want to get those guys as soon as possible. So seeing where they are in your prizes is absolutely vital. 4 Trainer's Mail to help with consistency. 3 Ultra Ball to get everything out. We don't need to run 4 just because Beedrill and Shaman, while they can be gotten with Ultra Ball, you can also get them with Repeat Ball, other stuff like that. 4 VS Seekers to reuse all of our supporters. And then as for my supporter line, I'm running 1 Lysander. Don't really need it because Beedrill is a sniper, but Lysander is still invaluable in this type of deck. We are running 3/2 of Sycamore and N, just because, you need to draw support in this deck. And then Sycamore... Actually, no, we're running a 2/2. Sorry, I read that wrong. Yeah, we're running a 2-2 of N and Sycamore just because those guys are invaluable in draw support and you need them in different situations. And then 1 copy of Teammates just because Beedrill's going to get knocked out, so you can Teammates for double puzzle and get those guys back immediately. Only 3 copies of Forest of Giant Plants. Honestly, you could probably get rid of a Grass Energy for another copy of Forest of Giant Plants, but I mean, you guys know me. I'm paranoid about not having energy when I need it, so if anything, I run a little bit heavier of a line of energy. But if you want to run 4 copies of Forest of Giant Plants, definitely go ahead and get rid of a Grass Energy while you do it. That's just my opinion, and I haven't had much trouble getting Forest out anyway, even with 3 copies. So, I mean, again, that's me. Do what you guys want to do. I'm just paranoid about not having energy when I need it. Speaking of energy, the tool I'm running in this deck is going to be Experience Share. Slap it onto a couple Beedrills on the bench. That way you can continually attack and not have to manually power up each Beedrill as you go. And then I am running 9 Grass Energy. That's the main function of this deck. And especially with EXP Share, you can run a lower number. But again, I've said it like 7 times, I'm paranoid about not having energy when I need it. So that's why I'm running a little bit heavier of a line of energy. But anyway, I'm done rambling. Let's just go ahead and see this deck in action. Alrighty, we have found one against Crizio, yeah, with a dark and water deck. So I'm actually kind of interested to see what he is running based on the Eviltal coin and sleeves. I'm guessing this is some variant of an Eviltal deck. So it'll be interesting to see what my opponent is running. We start off with actually a really phenomenal hand. That's not bad at all. This is actually really great. So I'm going to be able to play 2 Weedle down, and I mean, I have a Sycamore, I have an Energy, I have a Trainer's Mail, I have pretty much all that I could want at this point, and wow, even an Ultra Ball, geez. So this is a great start. I'm going to go ahead and grab another Level Ball. I could have grabbed the EXP Share, but honestly, I just kind of want to get as many Weedle out as possible. Oh boy. So 2 Beedrill are prized, and this is the exact situation I was telling you guys about, where you kind of just don't have any, where your Beedrill are prized, and there's honestly nothing you can do about it. So yeah, looks like I'm going to be hitting for 80 damage, which I mean isn't bad. It can take knockouts on some basic Pokemon, but otherwise not something you really want to do. And I'm going to have to discard one of the Beedrills as well. So I'm down to 1 Beedrill. That's going to be interesting. But at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and evolve into Kakuna and evolve into Beedrill. And yeah, Shaman for 2. I mean, I got to go as big as possible on this turn 1. Hopefully get something else. Let's go ahead and Trainer's Mail. Ooh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. All right, we get a double puzzle. I think, yep. Let's go ahead and play 2 copies of that. Grab 2 cards from the discard pile. Let's grab that Beedrill and the Level Ball. I can go ahead and Beedrill Kakuna. Well, Kakuna with the Level Ball and then Beedrill. So double puzzle is literally immediately coming in super clutch for me. I would like my town map so I can start seeing what's in my prizes. But at this point, given the fact that I only have 2 Beedrill in my deck, which is very unlucky. One is, I mean, that's kind of typical. I mean, you can almost expect one of the line to be there somewhere. So, I mean, it's not out of the ordinary to not be able to get 4 Beedrill at first turn, but having 2 Beedrill prized is kind of like a, well, crap, what do I do now? But either way, I was able to get the 2 Beedrill up immediately, which is great for me. I have another Forest of Giant Plants in my hand in case my opponent counters a Stadium. I can knock out both the Remoraid and the Zorua next turn if I choose to do so. My opponent looks like he didn't have much at all, so what I'm going to go ahead and do, play the energy onto the Beedrill. Yeah, let's just go ahead and Sycamore, get rid of the rest of my hand, hopefully draw into something else. You know what? That's not horrible. So what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and Puzzle of Time, grab... actually, no, I don't want to put the Repeat Ball first, just because I forgot that I don't have the 2 Beedrill in my deck. And I mean, this is where Repeat Ball comes in. Oh, it doesn't really help a lot, just because you have the... just because I'm not able to Repeat Ball for anything. I could grab a 4th Weedle, but that really wouldn't do much for me overall. Hopefully I can draw into... Well, I draw into an EXP Share. Not the end of the world. My opponent's not going to be knocking me out anytime soon. I have Revitalizer, I have Teammates, and honestly, I'm just going to try to start knocking out all of his bench basics. I know that I could have gone for the Zorua because Zora can potentially knock me out, and yeah, there it is. But I didn't want my opponent to draw anything because he really didn't seem to have much of anything at all at this point. So I think, okay, my opponent is just going to end me. You know what? That's fine-ish. I mean, as long as I can... Well, I can go for... Ooh, wait. Ah, darn it. I don't have my other Beedrill. Well, I mean, I can at least get another Kakuna up to where I can, like, Puzzle of Time or Teammates or Revitalizer for this Beedrill when it gets knocked out. But what I think I'm going to do is just start Swarming, Stinging. Probably the Eviltal or the Zorwork. I'm not going to go for this, for the active Eviltal, because 1, it has heavy retreat cost. 2, it cannot one-shot me. It needs to 2-shot me with Oblivion Wing plus Darkness Blade. And 3, it has to go for Darkness Blade. But okay, my opponent is going to play down a Remoraid. I mean, that's telling me that he has an Octillery and he's going to be relying on that for draw support. So I think, honestly, what I'm going to keep doing is just knocking out that Remoraid. I mean, it's going to keep taking me prizes, which is what I need to do. And, oh, there's the town map. That is gorgeous to see. Let's see. Yeah, 2 Beedrill right there. Let's go ahead and level ball. I think, yeah, level ball for the Kakuna. Yeah, let's level ball for the Kakuna so I can go ahead and get that Beedrill out. When it comes around next turn, play that down there. Gonna go ahead and Ultra Ball, maybe? Do I want to grab another Shaman? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna grab another Shaman. Get rid of the Forest of Giant Plants and the Rare Candy. I don't think I'm gonna need the Rare Candy at all this game, and plus the Rare Candy is just out if I don't have a Kakuna. So, you know what? I'm actually gonna sit on the Shaman for now, I think. Do I want to play it? No, I'm just gonna go ahead and knock out the Remoraid, grab a Beedrill, so I have something else. And the double EXP share will get me energies on both of my Beedrill and my Kakuna, so I will be able to attack next turn anyway. My opponent top decks a Sycamore, okay. Unless he had it, but either way, I made him discard the Octillery. Definitely glad I targeted down the Remoraids at this point. And so this is going to be interesting. Okay, my opponent is going to Lysander. What's he going to Lysander in? I think right now he's going for a Mind Jack play, which, yeah, he's going to try to... Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think he's going to try to target down a Shaman, maybe? Or no. Oh, that's right. He already played his supporter for the turn. Duh. But either way, he's just going to Mind Jack, knock out a Beedrill. But what is awesome is I'm going to be able to get 2 energies... I'll get energies onto my Kakuna and my Beedrill on the bench, and then I still have a Shaman. I have an EXP share for another Weedle if I can get it out, and that is... Honestly, I'm in a great situation. So let's go ahead and play that down. Play the Beedrill down. Now we're hitting for 80 damage again, and this is exactly why I love EXP share, because I'm immediately attacking again, and I am ready to go. I have... Oh, there we go. That is beautiful. So what I am going to do... Teammates for... a Revitalizer, and do I want to grab a VS Seeker? What else do I want to grab? So yeah, I'm going to grab the Revitalizer for sure. Go ahead and play that down. The fact that I drew into the Kakuna makes it a lot nicer for me because I don't have to worry about searching out something. So let's go ahead and Weedle, Kakuna, Beedrill, and look at that. We just had a Beedrill knocked out, and I will be immediately able to play an EXP share onto that as well. And we'll be able to knock out this Zoroark. So honestly, this deck is very, very cool once you can get it going. It's only slightly clunky. I mean, it's clunky, don't get me wrong, but it's only slightly clunky, which is something that's really cool. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the Super Rod because I don't really need the other Beedrill at this point. Actually, I don't need it at all because I wouldn't have room for it anyway. I could potentially take an Oko on the Eviltal that's active, but my opponent just keeps playing Pokemon onto the bench, so he can Darkness Blade this turn. It'll do a good amount of damage to me. But honestly, I'm in such a good spot right now. I mean, I'm 3 prizes away. I'll be able to take a prize on the Zorua, and what I can do is just start targeting down the Eviltal on the bench to knock it out. So yeah, we do see the Darkness Blade. Can we get a Tails? Nope. Not a big deal anyway. I do get even another Grass Energy. So I'm going to play that down, go ahead and retreat into my Beedrill on the bench, and then I think Do I need to play anything else down? I could, but I don't think I need to. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and Swarming Sting. Yeah, let's do that. Onto the Zorua, maybe. Well, I guess I can't look at my prizes. But either way, I'm just going to... Yeah, target down the Zorua, take another prize, be 2 prizes away. That way, all I have to do is just target down the Yveltal EX. And then I'm going to grab that other Beedrill just in case. I mean, I really... This is honestly just complete damage, or I guess... Yeah, I'm covering my bases. Anything that my opponent can do that could potentially win him the game. He is just going to Lysander. Okay, he's going to Lysander in the Beedrill. That's a good play on his part. That way I'll only be hitting for 80. But at this point, I mean, I'll have another Beedrill powered up already. I have the Beedrill on the bench that has 1 energy on it. And, I mean, EXP share is just coming through ridiculously clutch right now. It really, really is, and I'm so glad I decided to include it in this deck. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to one-shot that Yveltal EX of my opponents, but I will be able to two-shot it. And honestly, like, I can even now teammates. As awesome as that is, I can go ahead and play that grass energy there. Go ahead and Super Rod back in the Weedle. Weedle for sure. Weedle, Beedrill, and... No, I don't need a Beedrill. I need a Kakuna. Weedle, Beedrill, and a Grass Energy. Again, I'm paranoid about losing my energy. Gonna go ahead and teammates to grab to grab the Weedle and the Kakuna. There, not 2 Weedle, no, I want Weedle and Kakuna. That's fine. Play those guys down. Immediately have another Beedrill powered, well, not powered up and ready to go, but I mean, immediately have another Beedrill on the bench to where I'm hitting for 120, and even with yeah, let's just go ahead and get rid of the repeat ball. I don't need to see that anymore. Gonna go ahead and Swarming Sting, target down that Yveltal EX on the bench. If my opponent will have to retreat into his Yveltal EX in order to knock out my Beedrill, but at that point I will have... Okay, so he just delinquents. That's fine. I mean, if he has a Fighting Fury belt, that could be a little bit problematic, because then my Beedrills wouldn't be able to knock him out, but... Actually, even if he does have it, that's funny because next turn I'll be able to Swarming Sting the Yveltal EX, and then if he knocks out that Beedrill... Okay, so he didn't even knock out this Beedrill, which means I win the game. I mean, I think he should have... I mean, I guess... Yeah. I mean, he couldn't have attacked because he didn't have a Dark Energy, but... I mean, even if he had and knocked out this Beedrill, I would have been able to... And then play down a Fighting Fury belt, I would have been able to hit him for 80 with a Swarming Sting the next turn from my 2 Beedrill, and then I would have been able to knock him out the next turn with a 1 if he knocked out that Beedrill as well with the 1 energy Poison Sting. So, I mean, that was just an excellent example of Beedrill's swarming ability and its ability to come straight from the discard pile right back onto the bench if your opponent knocks it out. And then with EXP share, you're able to have a constant stream of attackers. So once you get this guy swarming, he is very, very, very dangerous. Actually, it might be a she. It might be a she. It very well might be a she. I apologize for that heteronormativity, but sorry. Too real for a Pokemon TCGO live. You know what? You guys don't want to hear me ramble. Let's just go ahead and try to find another one with this deck. Alrighty, we have found another one against a Blink89 with another Dark deck. So, after not seeing much of Yveltal at all lately, I am going to run into 2 immediately, and we do lose coin flip, meaning we will go second. I mean, that's not the end of the world. I can still Poison Sting, but I get a... Well, it would have been a pretty good opening hand, like replace the teammates with like a Sycamore or something like that, and then actually have a basic Pokemon that wouldn't be a Shaman. Basically, the only thing that was good about that opening hand would be the town map. Never mind. I'm glad that I'm mulliganing. I have enough outs to where I can get a much better hand than that. And yeah, so I'm interested to see what variant of Yveltal my opponent is running. I mean, I'm still assuming that this is an Yveltal deck. I mean, you see the Yveltal sleeves. You see the we saw the darkness type in the beginning. And okay, I'm gonna mulligan again. I mean, that does happen. We're only running 7 basic Pokemon in this deck. Although you wouldn't expect a mulligan 3 times. I don't know. Let's see how many extra cards we can give my opponent. Hey, we're giving him 4 extra cards. All right, let's go for 5. Can we get 5? Can we get 5? Let's see. Well, at least I start with a Weedle. I mean, that's something. And hey, you know what? I start with the town map and an EXP. You know what? I get a very, very good hand. I will take giving my opponent 40 extra cards for this hand. You know, something I've always wanted to try is like having a deck with one basic Pokemon that potentially mulligans your opponent out of the game from the beginning. Don't think that would work at all because your opponent can just be like, no, I don't want an extra card. But I mean, it's something cool to think about. Okay, so we see a Lugia and Yveltal. You know what? I mean, I've said before that I don't think Lugia belongs in all decks, but I do think that it is a very good tech against some EX decks. Because, I mean, it hits... First off, Pressure is one of the best abilities in the game. I mean, it just... Any attacks... If Lugia is your active Pokemon, any attacks are reduced by 20. Any at all. Well, any attacks from your opponent. Sorry, not any attacks at all. But, wow, I even draw into a wheel. So I'm actually getting a very, very good start. A Kakuna and a Beedrill are prized. I mean, that's to be expected. Let's see where they are on the prizes. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, I can still hit for 120, knock out a Zorua, potentially two-shot the Yveltals and stuff like that. And okay, so I get to that. Let's go ahead and Ultra Ball. Get rid of both Grass Energy. I mean, I have the Super Rod. Let's grab that fourth Weedle. Play that sucker down just in case the active Weedle gets knocked out. And I might be going for a String Shot. Or a Poison Sting. Sorry, not a String Shot. That's a Caterpie attack. There's that Forest of Giant Plants. Much better. So let's go ahead and Ultra Ball. Get rid of the N and the Lysander. Grab a Kakuna. Play that down. Yeah, you know what? Let's play it down onto my active Weedle to keep that guy from getting knocked out by an Intensifying Burn next turn, especially because I'm going to have to end my opponent into a fresh hand. I mean, he did have a pretty solid hand there. But okay, I'm going to get... Let's see if I can get something to get a Beedrill, because that would work really nicely. No, I don't, but I am going to grab that VS Seeker. That way I have an N for next turn. If I had some way to get a Beedrill, then that would be great. But, I mean, getting up all 4 Weedle and 3 Kakunas turn 1, I'm actually going to consider a win. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And I mean, all 3 Beedrill are still in my deck, but at this point, they're the only Pokemon left in my deck. I mean, apart from, I think, one Shaman. And I won't be able to attack this turn. I am just going to hold on to that Puzzle of Time, particularly because I have an N in my hand. I want to save the puzzle for when I have to double puzzle. My opponent does just evolve into a Lugia Break. I mean, that's not that big of a deal overall. My opponent could very easily knock me out with like a stand-in Mind Jackal. I mean, we do see the Zoroark right there. Let's see, does he have... Actually, no, he played the Darkness Energy. I missed that. So, yeah, we actually survived that turn. And, ooh, I can double puzzle here. So, what I think I'm going to do... I want to grab... Should I grab an Ultra... You know what? Let's grab an Ultra Ball and a Repeat Ball, maybe? Yeah, let's grab a... I don't know. Do I want to guarantee get the Grass Energy? I mean, I kind of don't want to be paranoid about it, but at the same time, I'm paranoid about not getting an energy. Yeah, I mean... why am I so paranoid about this, guys? I really don't know why I'm so paranoid. Honestly, like, I hate to do that, but... You know what? No. I'm going to play the Ultra Ball. I'm going to double puzzle for Ultra Ball and Repeat Ball, because what I can do now, Ultra Ball, get rid of the N and the Revitalizer, grab a Beedrill. I hate to get rid of the Revitalizer, but it's not the end of the world. Go ahead and evolve into a Beedrill, and then Repeat Ball, grab another Beedrill, and then, I mean, it'll give my opponent a fresh hand, but honestly, at this point, it's not that huge of a deal because my opponent doesn't have anything too ridiculously well set up, and I do get a third Beedrill. That is amazing for me. That way I can knock out that Zoroark and not have to worry about that sucker anymore. Do I want to grab the Revitalizer? Yeah. Let's go ahead and grab that in case my Beedrill gets knocked out next turn. I could grab... Yeah. I could have grabbed the EXP share, but I think this is fine. Let's go ahead and Swarming Sting, knock out that Zoroark. That's the only immediate threat. Intensifying Burn will not be able to knock out my Beedrill. And then let's go ahead and... You know what? Let's grab... What do I want to grab? I think... Well, I could grab the Beedrill. I think I'm just going to grab the Trainer's Mail. I think that is the superior play at this point. Hitting for 120 is plenty. Hitting for 160 really only knocks out the Yveltals. Lugia will not get knocked out by it anyway, so that's not something I have to worry about. My opponent does play the Reverse Valley. That's fine. It really... I mean, he already attached for the turn, so he's not going to be doing any extra damage to me with Lugia, just because, I mean, Lugia is a normal type, and obviously cannot take advantage of Reverse Valley. He is just going to Intensifying Burn, get some good damage onto my Beedrill. That is fine with me. Let's go ahead and play down a Forest of Giant Plants, especially because I drew one. And then let's go ahead and grab the EXP share, because this Beedrill is going down next turn. And again, I could have grabbed the Rare Candy, and I could have gotten another Beedrill up, but 3 Beedrill is really all you need in a lot of scenarios, just because you're going to be able to OHKO the things you need to OHKO, and you're going to be able to 2-KO the things you need to 2-KO. And there's not a whole lot of difference between 120 and 160. I mean, yeah, there's like fighting Fury Belt Xerneas and stuff like that, but I don't know. I don't think that that's necessarily worth it. What I am going to do, go ahead and damage the Lugia to the point where, I mean, it's on the field. It's a prize if I need it. He will be able to Intensifying Burn, but at this point I have the teammates, I have the Revitalizer. I'll have another Beedrill up next turn, and honestly, like I'm in a perfectly fine situation. I'll be able to immediately Revitalizer back the Kakuna and the Beedrill to have those guys attacking. Let's go ahead and play that down, Revitalizer both of those. And I mean, honestly, yeah, I'm in a great position. I've already taken a prize. The Lugia is extremely damaged, and yeah, my opponent is starting to set up, but I've got such a good stream of stuff at this point to where I don't think it's a problem. Let's see, do I want a double puzzle? That's definitely an option I can do. What exactly do I want to grab though? Yeah, but I mean, let's double puzzle, because double puzzling is never a bad thing. And also, I mean, if need be, I can always just grab a VS Seeker for next turn and just grab a card or something like that. Let's grab the Weedle for sure, and then what do I want to grab for next turn? I think I want to grab an energy. No, I want to get, what do I want to get? Honestly, I think, yeah, I'm just going to grab a VS Seeker. That way I have something for next turn. Play the Weedle down. That way I have an option for a Beedrill in the coming turns. Let's just get some damage on that Eviltal. Get that Eviltal damaged. That way I can take 2 prizes, grab both a Kakuna and a Beedrill off of prizes from that Eviltal if I need it. And he is starting to power up the other one. That's fine. He is just going to Intensifying Burn. Does 60. That bounced off. And I even get a Sycamore. So that's even better. What I am going to do is, I think N, because it'll put my opponent 1 card shorter than he had initially, and it will get me the card, and it will get me a good amount of cards at this point. Plus, I'll be able to knock out an Eviltal next turn anyway. Let's go ahead and grab, let's grab the EXP share off of that Trainer's Mail. Play that onto this, this Beedrill. Play the energy onto that guy. Honestly, I'm just hedging my bets at this point, and then I'm going to go retreat into the fresh Beedrill, and then Swarming Sting, knock out the Eviltal EX on the bench, take a prize. Do I need to grab the Kakuna? No, because I have a Rare Candy in my hand, so I don't need to take a knockout, or I don't need to take the Kakuna. This is why I run the Rare Candy. That way I can grab something else that I need, even though I didn't really need the Grass Energy. I just wanted it if I ended up in a situation where I did not have, where I needed an energy. And yeah, I'm in a very, very, very good position at this point. My opponent can Intensifying Burn again. That will not knock me out. It doesn't really matter. He does get an Eviltal breakup. Not a huge deal. I think what I'm going to do is just start targeting the Eviltal EX on the bench again, just because that's the only thing that could potentially be a threat. Lugia Break will get knocked out by a 2 Beedrill Swarming Sting, so I really don't even have to worry about that guy at all. That's just a free prize that is sitting there for me. Okay, definitely want to target down the Eviltal on the bench. It's becoming a problem. My opponent will get 60 damage off with Intensifying Burn, and would you look at that, I'm able to get a 4 Beedrill. Yeah, I'm able to get 4 Beedrill up right now. Let's play the energy onto this guy because I have the EXP share on the one without energy. I'm going to hold on to the Sycamores in case my opponent ends me. That way I have outs into drawing cards. Do 140 damage. If it had done 160 without pressure, it wouldn't have knocked him out anyway. This is just setting him up for the KO next turn. My opponent is just going to switch into the Eviltal. Not a big deal, really, because I mean, I have Actually, you know what? I can knock it out with a Poison Sting. I just realized that. That's funny. So I don't even have to risk the 2 energy Beedrill. He is going to knock me out with an Evil Ball. That is fine. However, I am going to get energy onto my Beedrills on the bench. One Beedrill has 3 energy. It has no reason to have 3 energy. Then I'm just going to go ahead and promote this guy with the EXP share. That is completely fine. And then let's play the energy onto it. Go ahead and VS Seeker grab a Teammates, because, I mean, I can play Teammates. Why the heck would I not bother with it? And then go ahead and grab Super Rod and another VS Seeker. VS Seeker is just coming through amazingly. Let's Super Rod back in, I think, 2 Grass Energy, because, again, I am very paranoid. Actually, no. Beedrill Weedle. Let's just do that just because. And then I'm going to Swarming Sting. I mean, I could have Poison Stinged, but I really don't think that that was necessary, because I'll still be able to take a knockout on the Lugia on the bench next turn anyway. So no matter what my opponent does, I think I win. If he knocks out the Beedrill on the bench, then I still have the ability to knock it out with the Beedrill that, well, the Beedrill that was active. If he Lysandered in the damaged Beedrill on the bench, I would have been able to knock it out anyway. But either way, what I am able to do is send in a 4 energy Beedrill. There's absolutely no reason to be doing that at all. And what I think I'm going to do is, you know what, I can even Teammates again for, oh, I was going to go for another Beedrill because I had the Kakuna in the deck. But you know what, that's fine. We were still able to pull off the win. Beedrill once again was able to swarm early and swarm late and just keep the pressure onto where my opponent was just not able to keep up with that. And that is the power of Beedrill in the right deck with the right setup. I do think this thing has potential. Do I think it's top tier? Not even close. I think in a perfect deck where you can get consistent 3 Beedrills first turn, I think it could be B tier. But I don't think that is A tier or S tier by any means at all. It's still a very, very fun deck to use. And it's not really a budget deck because you have to rely on Shaman, so I apologize for that. But either way, very, very fun deck to use. I encourage you guys to try it all. You can definitely make it a budget if you would put Talonflame in over Shaman, but you do really want the draw support that Shaman is able to provide. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.